Welcome to the Sharpe Way. We are back yet again. I'm trying to drive you guys all insane so you can see my face all the time. We have a very special Sharpe Way Stew. It is a weekly special that we're trying to put out to give a little bit of levity to the horribleness that is our news cycle. Trying to make things a little bit funnier, I hope at least, or special, at least something that we might enjoy. And I brought today a co-host, which you rarely see me do, but I've done it today. The man, the myth, the legend himself. Adam Nutter is here, the man from the Nerds with Words podcast.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having me back on.
Absolutely. And as I will say, you are the only host of the Nerds with Words podcast.
Right. Definitely not a 6'5" guy with herpes. For sure.
Not at all.
Not at all that guy.
Nope,
Not at all.
it is only you.
Idiot. Just me.
That's correct. Only you, nobody else. That's all it is. So
no one else named Neil Wood.
If you guys can share, like, and comments, always going to be helpful for us as we're trying to get more people to see the show. And we want to, he picked a couple of clips. I picked a couple of clips. We'll guess which ones are which if you want. And I'm going to try to see if I can get a couple out there that I think you might actually enjoy. And I hope that you would actually enjoy. We'll try one right now.
Or will we?
Brass. Right. Do you understand? And if
I'm done with this shit.
So you look out for those cops.
All right, I will. I'll be looking at those
cops.
cops.
Be sheltered in place. Go ahead, put me on social media. You're a little pop. Seriously, I called the cops. I can't.
Wow, okay. I'm so scared.
I cannot tell you how much I love this clip. I cannot tell you how much I love this clip. The thing that's the best part about this is she gets so angry about him not sheltering in place, and she's spitting on him.
Yeah.
She's literally saying, you should be spitting. Yes. She's literally spitting on him.
Slamming her fucking germ-ridden hand on his window.
Yes.
Eye level with him, spitting in his face, yelling. If that lady slapped my car like that and her husband was out next to her like that, I would have gotten and beat the shit out of her husband. I'd be like, this is what you did.
It's terrible.
It's your fault.
But
that's psychotic.
The piece here that drives me crazy, and on a little bit of a serious case, but not, is that the self-righteousness is, she doesn't believe she's done anything wrong. In fact, she thinks she is completely correct in every way, shape, and form.
Right.
She believes that her aggression, she believes that her anger, she believes that her disrespect is totally fine. I can just be that mean and nasty and spit on you because I'm righteous.
Right. Because she thinks she's doing the right thing. So it's like, see, I love how the angle you took it. You took it like the self-righteous angle. While you love that, I love that clip because I hate fucking snitches. And she's like,
okay,
being such a snitch. It's like, here's the thing. We're all libertarians here, right? It's that oppression of, like, you can't go outside. You can't enjoy public. Fuck you. What do you mean I can't?
Yeah.
So it's the fact that, like, another American citizen is so willing so quickly out of the fear and panic that they're instilling to be like, I'm calling the cop. Like, you're going to try to put me in a cage and take away my freedom because I'm outside. Like, to me, that's psychotic. And like, to you, like, you're a traitor. I'm sorry. You're a traitor to me. Like,
you're a traitor. I like
a fucking, I don't look at you as like an American anymore. Like, you're trying to Gestapo me, you fucking snitch. It makes me so angry watching that.
You are F-bombing like there's no tomorrow tonight, aren't you?
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. I watched this clip 100 times. It made me so mad each time.
F-bomb away.
Like, it's just so...
I'm going to replay the clip real fast because somebody wants to see
please.
It. So let me replay it. I do enjoy it, so let me play it again.
Your ass is grass.
Right.
Do you understand? And if
I'm done with this shit.
So
all right, tough guy.
All right, I will. I'll be looking at those
be
cops.
sheltered in place. Go ahead, put me on social media. You're a little pop.
She's slamming his car window with her gross hand.
Wow, okay. I'm so scared. Good
for this kid, by the way.
I love the kid doesn't care. But I think the funniest part about it, again, is that she's literally saying, good, put me on social media because I'm righteous. And they will all get behind me and call me the greatest Karen that there ever is. I am the Karen. I am the Karen overlord. I rule all the Karens with my iron fist.
She looks like though, like they put like printed her out of like a Karen printing factory. They're like white chick, mid 40s, hair in a bun. There's like, and you're a bitch. You're a bitch. You're a bitch. It's like, as they're printing them out, it's like they're so typical. It's like, well, yeah, that guy's right.
Danny's right? It shows that, right? And this is the thing that I talk about often, right? I did a show last night, was it last night? 2 nights ago, talking about, what the media puts out there. And there's a guy named Donald McNeil who works for the New York Times. And this guy's on all the shows. And he's on all the shows, and he's literally scaring everyone to death. This guy literally said, we're going to have to worry about how many calories that we get, for the next year. Like we're going to be sitting at home starving to death, not being able to get cow. That's his words. This is why people like her are so afraid, because exactly what Thomas is talking about. Thomas saying we're watching TV all day, we're just wetting ourselves all day scared.
There was less panic in The Walking Dead than there is going on right now.
Yes, it's true. Yes, if zombies are out, we'd be, zombies, whatevs. But this, we are just like, the world's ending.
When you look at the numbers of swine flu, of just America alone, like 25 million infected, I think, and like 20,000 dead, and no one gave a shit. People are doing shots out of each other's assholes still. They're like, swine flu, woo! Like fucking doing vodka. Like no one gave a shit. And this, a few old people die. Sorry. But like,
come on. That's mean. Don't be mean. A few old people die. What happens when that's your grandma?
They're dead. Fuck them. I don't care. No. I'm being a little, again, I'm being a little whatever.
It's fine. It's fine. You're a comic. It's fine.
But you know my point is like, my overall point is like, way less people are dying. And especially when they were like, oh, you might have it and not know about it. You might be fine. It's like, well, I'm not really scared about that, huh?
Yeah, I mean, this is an issue that I'm really concerned about. What you said's exactly right? We do need to care about people who die, obviously, right?
Right, I was kidding.
But not to this point, right? But this Steve brings this up. He's saying, he's paying all these taxes, and he heard that cops are pulling people over. And they are. I was talking about the other night, there are literally people throughout all New York City. You see cops in every other corner, Wo sind die Papiere? Where are the papers? Right?
Didn't Gene Epstein say that they ID'd him going into a Whole Foods?
Oh, I didn't know that. Is that true?
Well, I was on his Twitter, I believe. On Gene Epstein's
believe
Twitter.
It. I totally believe it.
He said that he went to see if he was over 70. But he said it was a cop, not like Whole Foods.
So the cops
like
are checking
cop. Yeah, like NYPD.
Wow, that is insane. But I believe it, right?
Cool. What was this, fucking Russia or the Berlin Wall? What's going on? Like,
literally, this is and this is my other problem. Right? We start doing this. What happens when the next virus comes? The same thing, or the next special thing happens, right? I used to be a cop, right? Most maybe don't know this. Adam used to be a New York City cop, right? If you had stayed a cop, you might have been that guy. You might be the guy in my neighborhood who's pulling me over when I'm trying to get some salami at the store or something.
That wouldn't be me.
That would have been you.
That would have been me. I would have been getting reprimanded probably for not doing that.
You'd have gotten trouble with that one.
Yeah. But it's just so many civil liberties. It's just like 9/11, right? Like my wife is she sees all this now. Like she's like, oh yeah, I see it all. It's like, and like her and I were talking about the Patriot Act after 9/11. It's like these terrorists blew up the towers. Let's take away all your civil liberties. Yes. Everyone's like, cool. It's like not cool. And now they're like, this virus that kills some people, let's take away all your civil liberties. It's like, hey, slow the fuck down. Also, do we not care about the economy?
But there's a good point, right? Kirk brings this up. Is the virus legitimate or not? And the problem that I have, really I do, is two things. One, it's not black and white. It's not the end of the world or nothing. Life is nuance, right? This is why we joke about it. This is why we talk about it. This is why we have conversations. Kirk, I think it is absolutely real and legitimate. and people will die and are dying. I think it's true. The question is, how far do we go, right? How far do we go for this? What do we do? There was a doctor who was on Fareed Zakaria last week, and he talked about the idea of why aren't we using our data to figure out who's really at risk and who isn't, so we can let some people out and focus on those people who need help. That actually makes sense. Not sit in place for 2 years straight. I mean, how are we going to get past this?
Yeah, I agree with you, Larry. I agree that it's a real thing for sure, right? It's definitely a real thing. It's definitely real. But what's going on around it, to me, ring my conspiracy bells go off. I'm like,
absolutely.
Again, because it's like, ask yourself the obvious questions, right? Like, so again, I just brought up swine flu. That, again, way worse.
Yep.
But literally no one gave. I forgot it was the thing until they brought it up again, talking about it like just now. I was like, oh yeah, swine flu happened. And then bird flu too, SARS, all these things I lived through. And it was on the news. It was like, stay away from Asian people with masks. And you were like, okay.
I remember that, how horrible that was. I remember that. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, all right. I'm going to throw another clip up. This one is what people are taking advantage of. Okay. And the biggest of all of them, Trump takes advantage of it, obviously. Cuomo takes advantage of it, obviously. This is Cuomo and his brother just totally taking advantage of this. I mean, it's embarrassing how badly they're taking advantage of this.
Not understand the facts yet. He may not want to accept it. It's a way of hedging against the need, as great as it is. But this is something that this president does. He's done it to you a few times. You know,
just
he goes back and forth about whether or not you're good.
Right, of course. Well, it's CNN.
Yeah. Well, look, Trump deserves some beating up here too.
Of course.
I mean, he's not perfect by any means, right? I'm not going to sit here and say Trump did a great job. Trump knew this was happening months ago. Purposely said nothing so that his friends could get their cut. Then they overdid the $1 trillion bill, and then the Democrats got their friends their cut. So they all got their cut on this up front. Trump included. Makes a lot of Trump people get mad when I say that. But Trump's as bad as all the rest. He's as bad as the rest. All of them. Of course. Every time there's one of these things, the government always lies until the last minute. Always.
And they're like, hey, by the way, everything we just told you for 7 months, disregard that. This is the truth. It's like, fuck you, man.
Yes, exactly.
You know, it's like,
just kidding. Remember no masks? Remember that? Oh, don't get masks. Masks don't work. They're not good. Now everyone's like, buy masks.
Right before, again, ask yourself the obvious question. Right, because I was talking to my wife about that because we were just watching the press conference, the Trump conference, and I was just saying, Fauci just said yesterday, this virus is so contagious, it could be caught by talking to somebody. They're telling me you don't even need professional medical grade masks. They said, and I'm almost going to quote this, wear any fabric you have. Oh, okay, that sounds right to me. No, it doesn't. No, it fucking doesn't. That sounds like a lie. I don't know which way the lie is going, but that sounds like a lie.
Somebody's lying.
Somebody's lying. By the way,
somebody's
I will not be wearing a mask out in public. You could go fucking eat my shit. There's no way I'm wearing a mask in public.
Yes. I mask up. I go out and deliver stuff sometimes on the weekends when I have time. I head out. My wife will deliver. I'll deliver.
That makes sense.
We'll drive because I have a car.
You're going to other people's houses too.
I have a car. So what I do is I will literally mask up and I'll even glove up just to make sure as I go out. And I don't go in their house. I just drop it off at the door and I leave, right? Because I don't want to infect them.
For what you're doing, though. But like, they're like, mask out if you want to go to the park or walk outside. Like, no. I'm not going to. Are you crazy? Absolutely. No. Like, you can't make me.
So let me keep going.
Sorry. Now, he's very responsive to poll numbers. And they say you're popular now because of how you're doing this. So he weaponizes it and says, you know what he should do? He should run for president, this guy, Cuomo. He'd be better than Biden, this guy, Cuomo, but I'd beat him too.
Anybody's.
Let me ask you something. With all of this adulation that you're getting for doing your job, are you running for president? Tell the audience.
Watch this.
No.
Lie.
No, you won't answer?
No, I answered. The answer is no.
No, you're not thinking about
it? Sometimes it's one word. I said no.
Have you thought about it?
No.
Another lie. Blatant lie.
Are you open to thinking about it?
Lying.
No.
No, I'm not open.
Might you think about it at some point?
No.
No. Blatant lie.
How can you know what you might think about at some point right now?
What? That's his brother saying, please run for president. Please. Yeah. Now, to be clear, his brother, in theory, is a reporter. I mean, he has the name,
Yeah.
the title reporter for CNN.
Sure.
So in theory, he's a reporter. I would think a reporter wouldn't sit there and go, please run, please, will you please run? Meanwhile, the guy just lies.
It's like nepotism or something's going on.
It's as if they're related. Oh my God.
Oh my
Yes.
God. And their father was a former governor of New York? What? No way.
Who would have thought that? Absolutely. This goes right back to they always say no until it's yes, right? They always lie until the absolute last bit.
Can we address the real issue here? What's up with Cuomo's nipple ring situation that he clearly has going on? Did you notice
this
that?
is the thing.
You think car batteries get hooked up to that, like old school 70s stuff? Like
well, yeah,
car batteries,
I mean, he's like 60, so yeah, you could be doing that. You could be doing that. Absolutely, yeah. Oh, look, he recently got divorced, so he's on the prowl again.
Ew.
Maybe he's trying to, get some young things like, look, I got some piercing. I'm a cool older guy. Maybe he's playing the sugar daddy thing. Who knows?
Maybe. You know what? I flipped. Good for Cuomo.
There we go. See, look, you are equal opportunity, brother. You're okay with that. I love that. I love that.
I don't believe his brother has coronavirus at all either. By the way, I think that's a lie too. But go on.
You think it's a lie? Really? Why? Tell me.
Ratings.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think this is the worst part of this is that the amount of money in ad revenue that the cable news channels are making, it's insane. I mean, if you watch for 5 minutes of, here's why you should fear for your life. And then 5 minutes of commercial, and almost always, here's another pill you need to stay at home. Here's another pill to stay at home. Here's another pill again and again and again. It is a problem. It is a problem. Absolutely.
When so many celebrities are like, stay at home, it's like, why are you all in on this? Why do you all care so much? You're fucking also stay at home for your 87 mansion house. Fuck out of here. Like,
yeah. If I stay at home at one of your multiple homes, right? It's out there thinking, yes. We do whichever one has the most servants. You stay home at that one, right? That's how they're thinking. Yes.
So nonsense.
Absolutely. And I think Matthew's being sarcastic here is what I think.
Yeah.
So yes.
But
absolutely.
like that's the thing too, is like Cuomo for CNN, who's garbage, like legitimate garbage. Like honestly, if I go outside and I just yell at somebody like, hey, what did you hear? Whatever they said to me is more legitimate news than listening to CNN.
Whatever that random person says.
They can be like, my roof fell apart. I'm like, yeah, all right, man. That's probably real.
That's
good. I'm like, sure.
I love that.
Like, that's probably more accurate.
So let me show you how bad it gets. It keeps going.
Because I know what I might think about and what I won't think about. But you're a great interviewer, by the way.
Appreciate it. Learn from the best. The point is this. What do you think of him trying to play you against Biden? That's what's going on here.
This is, by the way, a reporter, at least in name. In theory,
by the way,
it's a reporter.
Here's where I'll give them benefit of the doubt. Were they trying to be funny, coy brother shit?
Well, see, they do that sometimes, but I don't think this is. What happened is it's funny. CNN, if you go before Trump, was nowhere near as anti-Trump and wasn't as left as it is now. It just wasn't.
Right.
And it makes some people will be angry because CNN's always been a Clinton news network. It's not true.
They've always been left, not as far left.
Correct.
Not
absolutely.
Not like so far left where they're just fucking into the goddamn Mars. Like,
absolutely. Yes. They leaned left, no question, but they weren't MSNBC. They weren't that. They were the most neutral you could get at the time. That's what they were. After Trump, they have become total left. They are just, we hate Trump network. That's what they have become.
Especially if you look at the Project Veritas leaked videos of like, what's his face from CNN, who runs that, I can't think of his goddamn name, Stelter, whatever his name is, when he was like, I don't even care if it's true. Just talk, it's anti-Trump, so put it out. It's like, yeah.
It's. I hope that they get back to being more neutral whenever whether Trump loses this year or in 4 years, whenever he's done being president. I hope they go back to being much more neutral. I hope they do at one point.
Matt here has a good point that he wrote. It's like they're running a script. It's like, yes. Of course. He's like, hey, bro, I'm gonna text you. I'm gonna ask you, and then you tell me I'm a great reporter. It's like, Why don't you just blow each other? it's so
well. I mean,
so
you know,
bad.
There's a place for that too. Is all I'm saying. There's a place for all that stuff. Whatever's your thing.
You got the nipple ring for it.
He's got some nipple rings, so perhaps that's his thing. But in any case, no. I guess the point I'm trying to make here is these people are supposed to be reporters, and I don't see that at all.
Yeah,
I
anywhere.
don't see that in any way, shape, or form.
It's like when they blatantly lie, like blatant, like easy lies that you don't even need to really do research for. You just go, "Oh, that's not true." Like just from your own knowledge of something. You're like, "No, it's not true." Like that's clearly not true. You're lying.
Yes.
Like
well,
back to
here's another clip which I think you may enjoy.
Okay. Yeah.
Here we go. You ready?
Oh yeah. Oh, I sent you this, right? Yeah.
This is the main hospital in Bergamo in Lombardy province. It's one of the most advanced hospitals in Europe. But it's the most hard hit of all the hospitals.
So it's the most hard hit of all the hospitals in Europe, yet CNN says New York accounts for more than half of new cases. I'm sorry, CBS says this is a New York City hospital.
But it's the same exact footage they used for the Italian hospital already.
Yes. And they
3 days ago.
Yes. So nobody would notice. They said, hey, who's got some footage of New York? Oh, I don't. But it's been hard hit. What's been hard hit? Italy. Get that Italian stuff. These guys are too stupid. They won't know any better.
But
that's what they literally did.
It's a mix of it's thinking that we're dumb, which apparently most people are because they watch CNN, and it's also a mix of like laziness. Like they could just walk out the street and go to a hospital.
They could.
In New
100%.
York, there's hundreds of them.
Yes,
but
lots
they're like,
of them.
nah, let's pull the Italian one from 3 days ago. No one will notice. And then everyone's like, that's from 3 days ago, you piece of shit. But they're also the same network that was like oh my god, I'm fucking train of thought. Jesus Christ. Oh, with the Turkish-Syria gun battle, and they were showing footage from a Kentucky gun range.
Yes, I heard about that.
And you're like,
yes.
You guys are blatantly like, this is happening in Syria. And they're like, that's from Kentucky. And they're like, yeah, all right. Like, there was no like retraction or apology. They're like, moving on to the next lie.
Yeah,
impeachment.
absolutely. Which is,
I was just gonna bring this up, Kirk. Just gonna fucking bring this up.
Kirk, you're a good man. You
mind-melding.
walked into that one. Go ahead.
Mind-melding, Kirk. Follow me on Twitter, at Adam Nutter. Yeah. Back in January, Trump goes travel ban. And then I have pictures on my phone. I took screenshots of all the major newspapers, news networks, and politicians calling Trump a racist piece of shit. And that's over the top. And how that doesn't help stop pandemics. And then fast forward till March, the middle of March, when they're like, we should have stopped the same news networks, the same exact publication saying Trump should have pulled him in December. It's like, you pieces of shit. And you want people to trust you.
But no. Look, let's be clear about something. The issue that I had, and I think Kirk was responding to my issue of Trump working slowly for his friends to get it. The issue I had wasn't that. The issue is, if you remember when Trump first started talking about it, he was like, oh, we could just ban travel from China and it'll be gone in like 5 minutes or whatever. He said. I'm making it up. My problem was he knew it wasn't going to be gone in 5 minutes.
Okay,
right? That's my issue. Right. I'm not against what he tried to do to make things fine. If that was the right answer, awesome. Well done, Trump, if that was the answer. My issue was he knew it was going to be bad and didn't say anything up front. And I say it was done on purpose. How do I know that? Did you see all the congressmen, all those people who sold their stock?
Oh, pieces. They should be hung. Like they like straight up traitors. Like it's like straight up. Like
yes,
because you're betraying the people. Because they're like, whoa, we got some serious inside knowledge about a serious virus that's going to kill 1 million people across the board and all this nonsense. And then they're like, let's not tell anybody. Let's dump millions of stock, millions of dollars of stock, and then be like, what? This virus broke? Oh my God.
That's my issue, right?
Fuck you. It's
my issue is I'm unsure that was right or not. And Kirk thinks it wasn't right. And maybe it wasn't. To be forward, Kirk, I'm not really sure if that was the right answer or not.
No, we would have had a ban.
That wasn't even my issue.
All travel.
Maybe that was the right answer. Again, I'm not sure what the right answer was in this case. What I'm saying is we didn't respond fast enough with the seriousness on purpose because we had to get certain cronies time to get liquid. right? And
Right.
if you
I
look
totally
at,
understand. Yeah.
and this is what happened. This is factual. If you do some homework, you can find it out to be true. Many people believed already the economy was going to crash. They thought it was going to crash right after the election, because that's when it usually happens. Many times elections pump money into the economy through things like ads, travel. It's a massive influx of cash going through the economy. And on top of that, whoever's the president tends to tell the Fed, keep putting money in because I don't want to look bad for my election. So the Fed tends to pump money in, which it's been doing since Obama, actually since Bush. And
since Bush, yeah.
Since Bush, actually. And usually you have all this money coming in. So people thought they were already going to go. It was already going to pop in probably November, December. So they were ready for that. But it happened too early. They weren't ready for Corona. When Corona popped up, then they went, is Corona serious? The bubble might pop. Shh, don't say much. We've got to dump all our stock and stuff so we can have cash, so that when the rest of the people who we don't care about whatsoever, particularly the working, poor, middle class, when they lose all their jobs and have to sell their assets, we have to be able to buy them all. And that's literally what happened. And that's what I'm talking about, Kirk. I think Kirk was completely on board. I think Trump was completely on board with that. But not just Trump, but yes, Trump too, right?
Right.
And the problem is we have people, right now, Trump is so polarized. You have many people who just love Trump no matter what, or hate him no matter what. And what I'm saying is he's as bad as the rest. And that makes everybody unhappy. Like, everyone's mad at me now because the people who hate Trump go, no, he's the worst president ever. The people who love Trump go, no, he's the God King. And I say he's neither of them. He's as bad as all the rest.
Right. Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
That's the funny thing. But like, when people say he's the worst president ever, like, do you know American history at all? There's like 30 worst presidents who set up policies that literally ruined the country forever and like put us into wars forever. Like legitimately worse just because he may have said something you don't like. He's the worst. It's like, well, you're dumb. So your opinion doesn't really matter. You know?
Absolutely. That's good. All right, let me throw one more up here if I could. All right. This one, see if I get this one. This one's from MSNBC.
Supply chain for critical medical supplies is an unfixed and increasingly consequential failure. The federal government has not been able to get it together to make it any better. But you confront the pandemic with the government you have, not with the government you might wish to have.
What government would she wish to have?
I didn't hear the clip.
It didn't. There was no sound?
No, was it coming through?
Okay, hold on. Let me give it again. I might have missed the sound. Hold on. Let me try it again. It's possible that I did not do that right. Let me try it one more time.
Yeah, this happened before we tried to figure it out.
How about this time? Hold on.
A supply chain for critical medical supplies is an unfixed and increasingly consequential national failure. The federal government has not been able to get it together to make it any better. But you confront the pandemic with the government you have, not with the government you might wish to have.
So what is the government that she might wish to have?
Socialism or communism, probably. One of the two for sure, right? It's like, but that's the other funny thing about this is like, yeah, exactly. She is a communist. That's the other thing. Is it's like, how much is our freedom and liberties worth? $1,200 apparently, because that's the stimulus check we're getting, and the supply chain, all this stuff. It's like the government. It's everyone's like, oh, libertarians are really silent during this. This proves libertarian theory doesn't work.
Oh,
what?
I hate that.
Government regulation is the one that ruined everybody making shit already because they weren't allowed to. So companies could have had this higher grade gas mask, but the government's like, you're not allowed to make those because of our whatever contract or whatever I don't know the reason, but I do know.
Matter?
I do know they said that they can't make them. I do know that. So because of government regulations, private companies and private hospitals couldn't mass produce stuff.
Absolutely.
So the government got in the way in the first place.
And this is the issue that drives me crazy, right? In each case, when people will complain about government, the government screwed this up. So what's the answer? More government. That would work.
Never the answer.
Yes. When you slap me in the face, it hurt. You know what the answer is? Slap me harder. If you would just slap me harder, then it would all be okay. Absolutely.
Right. It's like,
I
you
hear it all
you
the
only
time.
slapped me the first time. How about roundhouse kicking me in my jaw next time? I don't think I'll hurt as much. It's like, no, it'll hurt more, you dummy.
Way better. Way better. I love that. Absolutely. But the other issue that drives me crazy about this is the expert that she'll have on. And she's had this expert on more than once. And this is the guy I was telling you about. Let me see if I can grab the expert real fast. See if I can get him on. Hold on.
Joining us now is Donald
There we
McNeil,
go.
science and health reporter with the New York Times. Mr. McNeil,
Oh,
thank
this guy. I know this guy.
Good to have you here.
Thank you for inviting me. The answer to your question is, I think, is yes, even for ventilators. I'm not so worried about nationalizing the supply.
Did you hear what he just said? This part I love. I'm not so worried about nationalizing the supply. Whatevs. Because who cares about nationalizing? It's all good. I'm a New York Times reporter. I'm good. Yes.
It's funny because of course, all the liberals, especially politicians, are like, everything should be nationalized because it's a pain. So of course the left's going to say that because that's what they want, right? But when you hear like guys on the right start saying like, it's like that's not your thing, and also your thing's not socialism, but apparently again for $1,200 it is. So,
yes, absolutely. Yes, that's
all those MAGA people who were like, fuck Andrew Yang, and Trump's like, but for me, they're like, that's a great idea. It's like, you guys hated Andrew Yang. By the way, I'm gonna throw my mom under the bus here. My mom was like, Andrew, that's socialism what Andrew Yang wants. And then this all happened. I was like, so you're not gonna vote for Trump? She's like, what do you mean? I was like, well, you hate socialism. She's like, yeah. It's like, you hated Andrew Yang. She's like, yeah. I was like, the difference.
Exactly. Yes.
The
No,
difference.
I love that crisis is always what makes things change. And I will look, and this is going to be a little highbrow, I know, but I go there sometimes. You know me, I do go there sometimes, Adam. I'm gonna look at Gandhi during World War II, and some of you will get this. The British owned India during World War II, and a lot of Indians who wanted their own independence wanted to rebel during World War II, right? Because the British were fighting the Germans and the Italians and the Japanese. Now we could rebel against them and they can't fight back, right? We could now kill them in their sleep and fight back and win our independence. And Gandhi said no. And the reason why he said no was Gandhi's principle said no violence. That means no matter what, even in a crisis, even when it's opportunity, no violence. That was his principles. And Gandhi lived his principles until someone put a bullet in him. That's how long he lived his principles.
Right.
My principles are the same too.
Yeah.
I don't want to all of a sudden start taking over stuff, even in a crisis. In fact, better not in a crisis, because then I've trained my people to step up during the next crisis. This goes back to it goes back to my Marine Corps training, right? I spent 7 years in the Marine Corps, and I was always taught the same thing. The hill has to be taken. If the captain gets shot, the hill still has to be taken, which means the people have to function, right? And I'll give you one more thing. Some of you who might know this, particularly if you're a Marine, if you ever notice the Marine Corps uniform, the Marine Corps dress blue uniform, where they have the dark top and they have the blue trousers, there's a red stripe that goes down that the blue pair of blue pants, the blue trousers. The red stripe is called the blood stripe. Only those who are E4 and above get the red stripe. That red stripe comes from the Battle of Chapultepec, when you ever heard the saying in the Marine Corps, from the halls of Montezuma? That was the Battle of Chapultepec, where the Marines took so many casualties, over 90% of their officers were killed.
Where was it?
In Mexico. In Mexico.
What year?
Oh, Jesus. 18 something.
Oh, so we were just manifest destinying everything?
Yeah, probably. Yes. So all of the officers, most of them were killed. So what happened? The enlisted took charge and captured the city. Because the top is taken out, the bottom still has to function. They don't collapse because the top is taken out. The Marine Corps teaches centralized control, even in the military, life and death. Centralized control isn't the answer. The people on the ground have to be able to get things done. This happens in life. This happens with Gandhi. This happens in the military. It happens with violence. You have to have it that way. And what we should have done, great leaders don't go, I got this, be quiet, go home. Great leaders say, Now I need you more than ever, guys. Come on. Give me what you got now. And we never did. We haven't done that since I don't know when. I think the biggest example of that was probably 9/11. At 9/11, we said, just go shop. We'll go bomb people. And from then on, we haven't done anything really to show that we being local and making things better. I'm sorry. You got me ranting. See that? Your fault, Adam. You got me ranting.
I like it.
So, yeah, I mean, I think that's really the issue. So, Jay just went to he went to the what's called Godwin's rule. Do you know that rule?
No.
Godwin's rule is a rule that says every argument eventually goes down to Nazis. Eventually, it's Hitler.
I've heard that before. Okay, right.
That's right. Eventually, somebody at the end, somebody's Hitler. It's just how it works.
Somebody.
Yes, absolutely.
But yeah, it's well, yeah, exactly. Volunteering, which is like with taxes and all that shit, right? It's like,
yes,
I'd be way more willing to give to GoFundMe's if I wasn't taxed all the time.
Absolutely.
Like
yes, right. Absolutely. 100%. Right, 100%. So, all right, let me.
Especially in times of crises, you know.
I think this is the funny part. Now that it's a crisis, either and Cuomo in New York, when he said it, either he's going to cut education and or raise taxes. So we pay all those taxes, so we can pay more. Right. That's his answer. So
no, that state's garbage. I know.
Everything's
I got out.
You did. I'm still mad at you. All right, so let me give us our savior, because this guy's going to save us right now. This guy's going to save us. You ready? He's going to save us.
And in order to avoid those very high numbers, we have to do at least several things. One, we have to depend on what the president's going to do right now. And first of all, he has to wait till the cases before anything happens. Look, the whole idea is he's got to get in place things that were shortages of. And
hey, bro, I form a fucking sentence that makes sense. Form one fucking sentence that makes sense.
I don't know what he's saying. I have no idea.
It's sad because I have brain trauma. I lose my train of thought like sometimes, and like sometimes I'll be like, I just happened to me with the Syria footage. I'm like, sit. But you know
yes,
what?
but you like had physical accidents that gave you brain trauma, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
But I'm also not running for president, is my point.
Also true. Yes.
Like I'm a dumb comic. Like he's running for president. Like
good.
But he can't finish thoughts. He can't fit. That's a gigantic, holy Christ.
That's a big one.
I did, and for Jake was on me without cause. He laughed at me about a sovereign citizen. He was not very happy when I showed he was more of a sovereign citizen than I am. He also did not like when I told him his ignorance of the law did not constitute cause for him. Pulling over, it took more than half hour. I was allowed to leave without giving my deregistration. Yeah. Cops are garbage. I get it.
Yeah, but I'm not sure I want to give him a half hour. At one point, I'm like, you know what? At one point, I just pay the pirate. Right? It's just not worth it. The pirate I've been boarded by the pirates. I can fight the pirates if I want to, or I can just say, you know what? What do I got to do to get you to leave my ship? Okay, right. 10 pounds of gold, you'll leave. There's your 10 pounds of gold. I got it. I got boarded by pirates. What are you gonna do?
It's annoying. It's so annoying. No, but to go back to Biden, like he's just he can never. If you ask him a question that challenges him, that's not in his script. He just challenges you to a fight and calls you fat, which is kind of funny. But
I gotta tell you,
for a president to answer questions.
But you know what? I think he'd be better. I brought this up before, and I believe this, right? If you look at most people who really don't like Trump, right? If you look at that, right, what someone said, there was two forms of Trump derangement system. Those who think it was Massey who said it. I'm sorry, it was Thomas Massey said it. He said those who think he can do no wrong, those who think he can do no right. Right. And if you are in one of those, right, that he can do no wrong and no right, then either you're never going to vote for Biden ever, doesn't matter, right? Or you'll vote for anybody who's not Trump.
Right.
So if you're in one of those, it doesn't really matter. Or you don't vote. But here's the issue. If you want to motivate Democrats, Biden really does a great job when he does this. When he goes, I'm going to take him in the back and beat him up. When he does that, Democrats love that. You want to motivate your base? I mean, motivate your Republican base. They yelled, lock her up. And Republicans ate that like candy.
But but all that aside, let's be brutally honest here. Trump will walk the floor with Biden in a debate. He will embarrass him. It will be hilarious. Trump should just headline comedy clubs because he should just, he's like, you know what, I retire and just go do that because he will embarrass Biden. Like, he will be way funnier. He'll be way quicker off the cuff. Like, he's better at that. He can't be fun. Like, Biden can't do anything off the cuff. Look at this. Like, that's Trump's thing. Like, again, like Shane
But
Gillis,
that's my point.
great
See,
comedy. Like, he says it himself. Like, he's great at like being funny. Like, he's great. That's his whole thing is like, this guy's garbage. Like, you know, Rand Paul's ugly. Like, as Shane Gillis says, his whole bit. It's so funny, but like, it's true. Like, he just came out there and started trashing people.
If I'm Biden's campaign manager, right? I'm not, obviously, but if he says, "Hey, Larry, come be my campaign manager," I'm like, "Fine. How much money you got?" So yes, I'd be his campaign manager. And the first thing I tell him is, I want you to end every sentence with how you're going to physically beat up Trump. That's all. Every sentence ends with that. What do you think of healthcare? Trump's going to need it after I beat him up. That's how you answer the question. That's the answer, right? Nothing else. Nothing else. What about foreign policy? Well, Trump's going to be leaving the country when I'm done whipping him up. Okay, yeah, that's the only thing he should say. No policy. Don't think. Just talk about how you're going to physically beat him up. You'll be fine.
Because his policy is whatever Obama's policy was and whatever the DNC wants his policy to be. That's what Biden's policy is. So, like,
no one cares about it anyway.
Too. Right. And I said this on your show last time, but like, Bernie he's a pussy. Like, he never calls Biden out. Like, he can't, like, Bernie should just come out and be like, Joe, you take money from billionaires and like, you're not a good guy and you have no plans. You're a shill for the DNC. You're just Obama 2.0. Look where but he doesn't. He just goes, Joe's a good friend of mine and I'll still vote.
He does that a lot. That's true.
I'm like, you fucking bitch. Like, you want to be the leader of the free world and you tell Joe Biden to eat it? Like, it's so weak. It's so weak. And that's the thing. Trump will never come off that way. Ever.
Yeah, that's true. He does come across aggressive. The problem with it is, look, I think, and again, this makes some Trump people upset. I think Trump might have a problem. If this economy stays as bad as it is now, he's in trouble. And the reason why he's in trouble is not because of the red states. The red states are going to vote for him either way. And the blue states are going to vote for whoever the Democrats swing. Exactly. It's Michigan, Pennsylvania, Florida.
Yeah, my state of Pennsylvania now.
Pennsylvania, yes, exactly. Your vote matters, man. Your vote matters, right? Mine doesn't, right?
He's going to Hornberger.
There you go. See, you're going to Hornberger. Got it. My vote doesn't matter, right? My vote is going to, no matter what, my state is going to the Democrats. Irrelevant, right?
Of course.
If I'm in Oklahoma, it's going to the Republican. Doesn't matter. But those three states
won Trump last time.
Say again?
Pennsylvania won Trump last time.
Yeah. And that's my point, right? If the economy is really bad, he could be in trouble. I don't think this is I think if you go before Corona, it's pretty much a walk in the park for him. Now, I don't know. I have no idea.
But
who's going to blame who.
The economy turns, I think he right in again.
Yeah.
Especially if you put Biden up against them, he's just going to, again, the DNC should do everything in their slimy reptilian overlord bodies they have to fucking not have debates if Biden goes against Trump. They should be like, we're not doing debates this time.
No, we were just kidding. No debates this time. No debates.
No debates because Biden's gonna be like, and Trump's gonna be like, look, he can't even speak. You know, and like, I can't do
but like, again, if I'm a DNC guy, I'm literally trying to get I'm literally trying to get Cuomo to run. If I'm a DNC guy,
of course,
I replace Biden a second. Biden will get sick, right, or whatever that is, and he can't show up. Whatever. To be forward, look, everyone who watches me knows I can't stand Cuomo. I ran against him. I don't like him. He's a bad guy. I'm just saying.
I agree.
Purely on strategy. If I'm a Democrat,
of course,
I'm pulling Cuomo. Cuomo's on TV every day. There's shirts now. You can go online. I love Andrew with a little heart on it and stuff. I mean, it's amazing. He is doing great. If I'm a DNC, I'm like, Biden, you need to get sick real fast.
Well, he is sick real fast. You just don't have to pretend. Just tell the truth. Yeah. Just be like, no, he clearly has Alzheimer's. We're fucking lying. Sorry. We're going to go with Cuomo now. Mistake. But still not Bernie. Still fuck him. But we're gonna go with Cuomo.
Absolutely.
Anything to not nominate Bernie, which is hilarious for not being like in the DNC. Like, because I mean, I'm a libertarian like you are, so like I don't give a shit. So, but like,
yeah,
so I don't. Me,
right?
Yeah. It's funny. It's funny to me that they're still like never you. Still clearly not you. We'll get. You want to run? They're like some guys like me. They're like you. Come on. The guys like I'm washing the window. They're like, come on. It's like
so good. That's awesome. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yes. Jay likes my pirate ship. Yes, I've often called the state troopers on the roads basically road pirates. So when I went to the Pennsylvania Libertarian Convention a couple weeks ago, or a month ago.
Yeah, I should have went to that. I should have hung out.
Yeah, so I went there and I was going there. I drove through Jersey and I got pulled over. And it's gonna sound terrible. I'm just gonna tell you the truth. A lot of the troopers know me in New York State from when I ran for governor. Right. So when I get pulled over, they rarely give me a ticket.
Right.
They will usually just go, "Oh yeah, you're that guy," blah blah, and they go, "Don't slow down." So I got spoiled. My fault. Totally my fault. I got what I deserved. I totally got spoiled. I'm super cool. I can do what I want. Shit, I'm in Jersey. They have no idea who I am in Jersey.
Right.
I was like, they were like, I don't care. Boom. Steady care.
Or they're like, no, I know. I still don't care though because we're Jersey.
Or yes, here. I know, and I still don't care. Either one. Yes.
So Jersey's fucking hardcore.
When I got there, they were like, "Oh, Larry, you got us." Yes, I got boarded by pirates before I came. Literally what I said. I got boarded as I was coming. Pirates took me over. I got boarded.
I'm also spoiled because I have my old ID card.
Oh, sure. Being a New York City cop, right? Yes.
So when I get pulled over, I'm like, I'm sorry.
Yes.
And they're like, okay. And I'm like, hey. And I just leave. I'm like,
I know, G forward. I know it's bad. I'm not trying to say it's a good thing. It's terrible. There shouldn't be any, because you're a cop or because I know you from something. That shouldn't exist. I get it. I'm just saying it does exist. That's all I'm saying.
Perks of the job.
Yes. That's all I'm saying.
Sometimes now I get free shit because people know me from doing comedy or the podcast.
Sure. Absolutely.
Perks of the job.
Absolutely. Yes.
It is what it is. Someone made me, I can show you guys. Someone made me this custom Xbox controller with my podcast colors on it, and it has NWW right here for Nerds with Words.
Oh, that's awesome.
How cool is that, right? How fucking cool is that? Yeah. See? Got that for free. Thanks, guy. I don't even know his name.
That's amazing. I love that. Very
Thanks,
good.
Dude.
I love that.
Yeah, see, Jay knows.
Yes. All right.
Hate and write tickets as a cop.
Let me grab one more if I could. And this one is more about that, I think more in your world, right? The idea that, when things are serious, as Kurt brought up, this is serious, right? But at what point can we joke about it? It's one of the reasons why I wanted to have you want to kind of just joke about some stuff and to, have a little bit of levity. I tend to be serious a lot. I'm the political guy. I'm always on policy and stuff like that. So I try to lighten up a little bit. And this is something that was supposed to be funny. I love Chrissy, but maybe it wasn't that funny. But it was definitely controversial. See if I get this going.
Everybody was kung flu fighting.
Those kids were fast as lightning.
In fact, it was a little bit frightening.
With expert timing.
There were funky Chinamen from funky Chinatown.
They were chopping them up, and they're chopping them down.
It's an ancient Chinese art, and everybody knew their part.
From a fainting and a slip to a super Chinese kick.
Everybody was kung flu fighting.
Those kicks were fast as lightning.
In fact, it was a little bit frightening.
But they did it with expert timing.
There was Funky Billy Chin and Little Sammy Chong.
He said, "Here comes the big boss. Let's get it on."
We took the bow by the stand, started swaying with the hands.
Not even a word.
Sudden motion made me skip. I went into a brand new trip.
Everybody was kung flu fighting.
Those kids were fast as lightning.
It was a little bit frightening.
But they fought with expert timing.
We love you so much, China, and we accept your apology.
Namaste. Ooh, 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 ooh.
Of course, toilet paper.
Lord help me.
Everybody was caught.
So the question is, right, is something like this clearly made to be a joke, but also racist, right? It's definitely both, right? The question is this kind of thing okay, right?
I mean, yeah, but who gives a shit? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's
Go
like,
ahead, tell me.
It's like, I mean, first of all, I personally know 4 or 5 of those people in that video, because again, I'm a comic. I know David and Aaron's wife Christine. I know a few more of those people in there. So like, and like again, a few of them were like, you know, yeah, we just did it just to do it as like a fuck you to all the people being like, it's not the Chinese virus or whatever, and they just kind of it was kind of this combative thing against the PC culture, which is what I appreciate about it, right? And Chrissy doing that and stuff like that. But like, for anybody to really get upset from this, come on, it's so dumb. It's just so dumb.
People really got upset though. I mean, this is, you know, they really got. You told me you thought they might have taken it down from different places. They were so upset about it.
Did, yeah.
Well, I heard she was telling me that they were some places actually did take it down, right? They were concerned about it. They actually were. I mean, I get and I believe. I mean, look, there's a difference here, and I'll tell you where I come from as a person of color, and so maybe that gives me extra street cred or not. I don't know, but I'll say it in case it does.
More clout.
Maybe it does. Maybe I get more clout for saying it. Intent matters to me. Right? Intent matters to me. I think for everyone it should. There are people who are close to me who can say almost anything to me and I will not be bothered regardless of what it is. Because I know their intent is good for me, right? To try to get me to think something or get something or they care about me. They love me. So I know their intent is good. And there are people who can just cross on a little bit and I'm angry because I know they're jerks. And their intent is to hurt or make me angry, right? That's their intent. So intent matters to me. And I think the intent of this was what you said. It was to say, to hell with PC culture. It wasn't to say, I hate Asian people or whatever someone says.
Not even in the slightest.
It's about, right? And I think that's the part that drives me crazy. Intent matters.
Totally agree. I mean, especially, I'm definitely going to be biased as a comic, right? Like, I totally, of course, think Spanish flu, right? You have all the other flu, like the flus that were mentioned after just the origin of where they're from. Like, it's so stupid. But of course, First Amendment, man. I mean, it's silly. It's silly that's what we're concerned about. We're concerned about people calling it the Kung flu, which is just a joke when there are people dying, you know, even though it's not to the rate of the Spanish influenza, let's say, but still, like, it's there's more serious things going on, like the economy crashing and people losing their jobs and the stock market and me losing thousands of dollars in the stock market. Like,
well, you know, there's something else I think that drives me crazy, right? This is the idea of people being so concerned about being self-righteous and pointing out things at others that they don't have to worry about their own stuff, right? It's very easy for someone to point the finger and go, that guy Adam Nutter, what a jerk he is. Let's get mad at that guy. Meanwhile, I'm dying inside. Right. You know, that's probably true. But I'm just saying, me pointing that out and how bad you are as a human being, which is obviously true, doesn't make me a better human being, right? And the point is, I should be trying to make myself a better human being, regardless of how bad of a person you actually are, right? It shouldn't matter, right? It should be that I am trying to become a better person or whatever that is. And I won't even go that route. There's a societal issue. And if you look at it, I'm going deep again. I'm not supposed to. You're a comedian. I shouldn't, but I'm going to go deep anyway.
No, I love it. I love it.
There's a societal issue in us that we have a problem with self-esteem. Individuals. A lot of us don't like ourselves. A lot of us don't. And this is going to go back, and it's all going to come. It's going to come through. You can see I'm going to bring you down a road, Adam. Stay with me, all right? I'll hold your hand. I'm going to bring you, all right? Back in the 80s and in that era, around the 80s, there was a huge movement for self-esteem in children, which was completely made on purpose to try to help. The intent was amazing. The intent was to make stronger, more resilient kids who could do well. That was the intent. What actually happened was a disaster. because they would do things like saying, "You're great, you're awesome. Tell your kids how awesome they are. Tell your kids how great they are. Tell them how awesome they are. They're so great." So two things happened. Number one, they realized that people gain self-esteem not by being told they're awesome, but by achieving things, by getting back up and doing things. That's how you gain self-esteem. That's how you gain resilience, not by being told you're awesome. The second thing is, now when a parent didn't do that, that parent was now evil. Right. So it made more harsher parenting, which for certain kids may have been good or bad, whatever. It made it even worse. And now the kids who were under that felt even worse. And the kids, everyone as going up was felt that way, right? So now they feel like they're amazing, right? The good kids. I'm great because mom's told me I'm great because I was born. So I feel great. Now all of a sudden I get into the real world and I can't be successful. And many reasons why. Crash of 2000 with the dot-com bubble. Crash 2009 with the real estate bubble. Crash 2020 with the debt bubble. Crash, crash, crash. You're 30-something, 20-something now? How could you be successful? You now have a rental economy. Your economy is a rental economy. You rent your phone. You rent your phone. You spend $5 for coffee. That's what you do. So now this happens. You're crushed again. Your self-esteem destroyed. Everybody's feeling horrible. You know how I get to make somebody else feel good? Myself feel good? By pointing my finger at you.
Right.
You aren't good. You're bad. See, I'm righteous. I am now valid. I have a mission. I have a purpose. Stop it.
It's always people who have nothing going on in their lives who want to point out the shit that you're trying to do to better, not even better yourself, but try to at least achieve, like make content, especially as a comic. Like, chill the fuck out, dude. Like, you know, it's like chill out. It is upsetting.
It's a national thing that goes on with one more thing, and that one more thing is, and this is going to be another bigger picture, but you'll see how it goes together and makes a perfect storm. We have been adding government since the war on poverty. Since the war on poverty, we've been adding government. Now, as you add government, what do you remove? Community.
Of course.
As you add government, you remove community by default. So there's always someone outside of your world to take care of you. Always.
Right.
There's always someone outside of your world. That's terrible. You're
like
talking
every time I have 3 modes of Twitter that I do. That again, at Adam Nutter, fucking check me out on Twitter, because I have 3 modes of Twitter. Either I'm just joke writing on Twitter, like I'll just jokes.
By the way, the comments is all his contact, guys. Check the content. The comments all there.
Like I'm either just writing jokes, like try to be funny, you know, as a comic, I'll try to write jokes, or I'll be arguing, you know, about politics, like a libertarian thing, or you know, an anti-communist thing, or something like that. Like, you guys are crazy. Or I'll just troll myself for fun, and I'll start flame wars, and like, but you'll be on Twitter, and then you see people like who are so willing to just bootlick the government, and I'm like, I just view this is honestly the first thing I view them as: weak. I go, you're weak. You're weak because you need someone else to take care of you. You need someone to tell you what to do. You're an adult with all your sensibilities, to my knowledge of you, and you're so like, I need another adult to tell me I can't go outside, or like to tell me not to eat this restaurant. It's like, no, you don't, you bitch. Like, you're an adult, you weak sheep. Like, you're not. Like, to me, it's like it just disqualifies you. I just lose respect for a lot of people when I read that shit.
I'm with you, but look, as someone, you're a comedian. That's awesome. I think it's funny and it's good for you to do that. I'm trying to get those people to see the light, if that makes any sense, right? I'm trying to get them to see the light. And if I just call them weak or that kind of thing, they're just going to say Larry Sharpe's a jerk, right? I need to show them a way to come to my side. I need to explain why this is a cultural phenomenon that has made people decide that it's always better to point the finger at someone else or blame someone else. As you've noticed, the blame game is huge. There was I bring this up often. There was a South Park episode with Captain Hindsight. Do you remember that one? Are you a South Park fan?
No, I am. I didn't see that one.
In this episode, Captain Hindsight's a superhero who now shows up at the end of every tragedy, and he then tells you what should have happened. So he literally there's a fire in a hotel. People are literally dying in the hotel, burning up. There's fire trucks out there, and then everyone's yelling, "Where's Captain Hindsight to help us?" Captain Hindsight flies in, and he has three sidekicks: coulda, shoulda, and woulda. Those are his 3 sidekicks. So he flies in and he says, "Okay, this should have been built this way, and that staircase should have been there, and this staircase should have been there. And they go, that's what should have happened. Awesome. And they pack up and leave, and the people keep burning.
That's
so
great.
All they care about is who can I blame,
right?
Not can I solve the problem. That was a wonderful metaphor.
I do try to like talk to people a lot about like Libertarian Party, and like even my wife now, like she's more along, like she's more interested in the party. Like she's not on yet, but she's more like, I'll read more. But like
I like that.
It's so it's like a lot about. I do talk, so I do. But then there's some people who are just so far gone, and they're just so like just tunnel vision. Like government's right, I'm wrong. Private things are the worst. It's like, okay, you're just so far in that bubble, dude. You're gone, man. It's like,
yes, absolutely.
And also, as a comic, I can't help but not insult people and try to be funny. You know?
True. Yeah. No. Look, I get it. And I'm glad you came on. By the way, is there anything you want to talk about before we wrap it up?
Oh, you're going to be on my podcast Sunday.
That's true. I'm coming on your podcast Sunday. Second time. I am now. I'm officially now what? Friend of the show? Is that what it's called
friend
now?
Friend of the show. Yeah, you are.
There we go. I am now.
So this Sunday live, we're going live at 1:00, and you will see me and I guess the guy I did the show with, Neil Wood. But we'll be all separated. Yes, guest host Neil Wood. No, but guys, if you enjoyed this, just check me out at Adam Nutter on all social media. And check out Nerds with Words, my main podcast. And if you guys are into sports at all, I also do a comedy sports podcast called Slapstick Sports. That's available everywhere. Nerdswithwordspodcast.com for all my stuff. But yeah, just follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I'm trying to build those up. Boom, boom, boom.
I love it. Absolutely.
There's the words. And check out Sunday with Larry. He'll be on.
I love it. All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming today. Adam, thank you so much for today. I will see you this weekend. Guys, thank you so much. I'll see you all soon.